Hey guys, welcome aboard, welcome back, welcome home, depending on, as always, where you are in relation to this channel, these messages, this week, this energy. Let's talk about what's up this week. This week being the 29th of August through the 4th of September. Well, 2022. So, this is an interesting week, aren't they all? So we start this week with a Libra moon, literally early on Monday morning. And the moon conjuncts Mercury, trines Mars in Gemini, and opposes retrograding Jupiter in Aries. Now here's the deal. With this Libra moon, ask yourself, how are you creating and feeling balance and harmony, versus how are you perhaps creating codependency in service to that balance and harmony, right? So just be mindful of that for the next few days, especially with that conjunction to Mercury. We saw this one first. Mental energies are on point. Mercury being all about communication, easy logic, balanced expression, right? Again, mindful of that tendency toward codependency in terms of balance and harmony, right? Balance and harmony with yourself is the primary goal. Mars in Gemini, right? You might be suffering from the thinks today. The key here is you might not be putting a lot of things into action, and that is okay. The evening's opposition to Jupiter kind of reminds you not to overpromise, and with that retrograde Jupiter in Aries, don't promise yourself things that you cannot deliver, right? The most important promises to keep are the ones you make to yourself, which I've said a skillion times. Please take it into account today. Instead, choose that wisdom of kind of gathering ideas, right? Give yourself a little more latitude to play into the concept, to the abstraction. Yeah, with Mars and Gemini, that's a lot of potential. With all this Libra air energy, don't Hindenburg yourself this evening as you try and run around and play catch up. Resist that temptation. Tuesday, the 30th, we have a very early Virgo Sun quincunxing Jupiter. Again, more Jupiter airplay, right? And that's fine. Then the moon opposes Chiron, sextiles Uranus, and trines Saturn. All of these aspects are retrograding aspects, of course. Everybody, almost, very close, is in retrograde. So this is a follow-up to that moon opposition Jupiter, right? So the question is, whatever you ideated on Monday, whatever you were thinking on Monday, the question becomes, do you have what it takes? Right? Do you have what it takes to sustain that? Do you have what it takes to shift into that? Do you have what it takes to get that done? Mind the energy of your own healing story, right? And if you're going to hedge here because you're the one telling it. So the thing is, acting as if, right? Creating that energy to step into is important. The shift might challenge you in a way based on what you're holding and what you're resisting. But Saturn is really going to ask you to work through it, literally to work through it, to get shit done as you move into that space of healing, as you shift and change into your own amplifiers in your new story, right? Because those things are important. On Wednesday, the 31st, that Libra moon quincunxes Venus early overnight, right? And that, I'm so sorry, sextiles Venus and then quincunxes Neptune. and squares Pluto, literally all before you wake up. And then about lunchtime, we have Venus, a Leo Venus quincunx to Neptune in Pisces, of course. And then very shortly after that, the moon moves into Scorpio. Kind of exciting, right? So mind your emotional balance, right? That Neptune square Pluto asks you, where is the truth, right? What is your accurate feeling experience? Or are you bouncing off your baggage, right? This is an important question, one that we need to know every day, not just today, but it's asking to be asked today. Are you really feeling what you're feeling? Or are you telling a story about what you're feeling based on something that happened years ago? So ask yourself that question. As Venus is quincunx Neptune, right, your tendency to dig up an old story might be strong. So you can do that in one of two ways, right? You can dig up the old story and retell it, or you can dig up the old story and heal it, right? It's not limited to simply the retelling, right? You don't just have to experience your memory as, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. You can experience that memory and heal it right there in that place. And as that moon moves into Scorpio, right after that Venus quincunx Neptune, you have the depth available to do those things, to go in and really cauterize old wounds. That's a pretty big deal. So utilize that energy, right? On Thursday, early Thursday morning, that Scorpio moon quincunxes Mars in Gemini. Very, very exciting energy overnight. So that's a dream time thing, right? And then early on, we sextile the Virgo sun. And Mars sextiles Jupiter, just as you're going to be waking up and having some coffee. So here's the deal. Early in the morning, you might feel kind of like that bull in a china shop, right? Like too big for your field. Like you're not quite sure how to be in your experience, how to be present in your reality, right? And that's okay. Check in with your feelings, with your thoughts before you take action. Choose your expression, right? Choose your expression. There's some big energy as that Virgo sun touches that Scorpio moon. You might have, I want to say, a tendency to witness your feelings as suspect, right? Or even discordant. And that's okay. That Virgo sun sextiling the moon in Scorpio is going to want to have a quiet, unseen day, like a ninja day, right? You know, Virgo being fairly private, fairly modest, and Scorpio being, you know, that kind of secretive behind the scenes energy. But that Mars-Jupiter sextile is really going to want you to be out there doing the things, right? Throwing it out there, seeing what's going to happen, making it big and loud with every possibility, right? That's Aries and Gemini energy. Here's the deal. Just think 2 steps ahead, right? Think 2 seconds ahead and know that big actions might create that kind of like doer's remorse later. So if you kind of do some, if you impulse buy, or if you impulse speak, or if you impulse act on this particular day, you might definitely have some regrets later, or even some things in your life that shift in ways you did not expect based on those actions. So be in your thoughts and be in your feelings, and where you feel the need to curtail or curate your external actions, I highly recommend that you do so on Thursday. On Friday, the Scorpio moon squares Saturn overnight. Venus in Leo quincunxes Pluto in Capricorn overnight. In time for coffee, the Scorpio moon trines Neptune and sextiles. Thank you. Venus, right? No, sextiles Pluto and squares Venus. And then the moon moves into Sagittarius about dinner time, which is always exciting. And then our Libra Mercury opposes Jupiter around bedtime, right? So here's the deal. The other thing that happens today is that Mercury enters storm, right? So every time we have a Mercury retrograde, we have a storm phase and a shadow phase. So we are now going to be in storm on the 2nd of September. Mercury going retrograde on the 9th, right? Through the 2nd, right? Well, anyway, it doesn't really matter. But Mercury goes into storm on the 2nd. So here's the deal. Pay attention to your dreams, right? That happens later. So notice what you're dreaming. And how that might feel to you in Libra. Right, we also have the moon squaring Saturn and Venus sextiling Pluto. Those are wider, deeper aspects. And with Saturn squaring the moon in Scorpio, this might give you some solutions. Again, we've talked about earth-based solutions. These are higher level solutions. So look for those, right? And as the day progresses, if you have those weird dreams, you may be soothed by that energy of Neptune and Pluto as they aspect the moon. So maintain your heart in clarity, right? And kind of be fearless as you experience and witness your own bigger patterns, which is a good thing, right? As Venus squares, as the moon squares Venus, it's okay to admit that you're not perfect, right? It's okay to admit that you're not perfect. Oh, what? The moon in Scorpio squares Venus in Leo. Please remind yourself that it's okay to admit you're not perfect. And after the moon moves into Sagittarius, right? This is about allowing yourself to feel your impulses, right? Allowing yourself to be driven by that sacral pull of what makes you happy. Big time. Big time. And then we've got that Mercury opposition to Jupiter late in the evening. So if you have things to say, say them, but say them mindfully, mostly because whatever it is that you're going to say is going to be super amplified. So just be mindful of the power of your language and expression. It might be a really fun night to do a craft project or something artsy. On Saturday, the 3rd of September, we have a Sag moon in the sky all day. So we begin with a trine to Jupiter, a sextile to Mercury, and then an opposition to Mars. Now, this is exciting. In the afternoon, we have a square to the Sun and a trine to Chiron. So the dominant aspects in the sky are a beautiful mystic rectangle, right? So we've got Libra Mercury, right? Balanced expression, quickness of mind, an ability to weigh what comes into your field. We've got Jupiter in Aries. This is a can-do, yeah, I've got that, let's make it happen kind of energy. We've got Mars in Gemini, which allows you to witness all the potential, right? And act on that potential. Whatever you can see or foresee, you can be in creation of active creation, right? You can choose where your energy goes as it relates to that potential. And then we've got the moon in Sagittarius. This is daring. This is intrepid. This is about what you believe and how you are inspired to chase, follow, or create it, right? Which is, it's gorgeous. So today, on Saturday, the 3rd of September, you might just believe that you can do anything. You might just believe that you can do anything, right? This happens early. This happens early. So there's going to be a point at which you're going to want to cement and anchor that feeling of, yes, I can. That's beautiful. So find a way to do that, right? Whether it's a smell or a sound, a mantra, a visual, whether it's an experience in your body, whether you want to anchor it with, you know, some kind of feeling in your physical being, that's absolutely fine as well. But anchor that feeling that you can do anything. It's important. It's very important. As the afternoon comes and the evening, right, know that challenge as the moon squares the sun can be managed if you're holding on to that story you told that you can do anything. And then on Sunday the 4th, that Sag moon quincunxes Uranus and sextiles Saturn early, and then later in the morning squares Neptune, and then we kind of have some quiet. And then in the evening, we have a trine to Venus. And then at bedtime, the moon moves into Capricorn and Venus moves into Virgo. Okay, so here's the deal. Early in this day, delve into whatever experience it is, right? Scorpio, Sag moon is all about immersion, right? It's all about, how does this feel to me? How does this look for me? How does this sound to me, right? So a Sag moon is all about your experience in relation to something bigger, an abstraction, a concept, something you may not have experienced before. And so whatever that is, immerse yourself, right? Try something on, perhaps that you have never tried before. Whether or not that's an idea or an experience doesn't matter. You're just going to try it on. You do not have to keep it. You do not have to know whether or not you want to make it permanent. You're just trying it on, right? You will know how that fits you, but the experience is what's required. The experience, okay, thank you, we got you, is what's required. And with that moon trining Venus, allow yourself to be in it, right? Whatever that experience is, right? Use all 5 of your senses. See it, hear it, taste it, smell it, touch it, right? This can be a great day for that exciting kind of experience, that sensual experience, right? This could be a beautiful day for kind of like that love, romance, kind of dreamy sort of half in, half out experience, if you allow it to be, and if you know that this is the thing you're trying on. Here's the deal. Get all of those things done before about 9 o'clock Central Time, because the moon shifts into Capricorn and Venus shifts into Virgo. So that fiery energy, that experiential energy is going to bring you right down into the experience, and it's going to shift and change how you perceive it overnight. So again, this is a big week of challenges to your experience and how you allow it to amplify. There's so much retrograde energy right now that we really want to pay attention to our inner experience and what that means. And overarchingly, we're going to be mindful that this is our last week before we really deal with that Mercury retrograding storm. So whatever you're going to accomplish through mid-October, put it into motion Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, because after Friday, Mercury is going to create a little bit of friction or pushback on those ideas. So get your business at least begun early this week. Let's have some conversation. So we've got the 10 of Pentacles, the 3 of Cups. Look, this is beautiful energy here. 10 of Pentacles, of course, is foundations. It's solid. It's legacy. This is what I've created my life to be, and look how lovely it is, right? All of my deepest desires are manifest before me, right? I have created my existence in full resource. I mean, it's a beautiful card. And then 3 of Cups is all about celebrating that, right? Together, celebrating that thing together. We talked about this as being that day where we have lots of easy logic, where we might be stuck in the thinks, and where we want to not overpromise, even if it's promising yourself, right? So the key is choose the wisdom of gathering your ideas. So whatever these cards mean to you, gather them in idea, especially knowing what we just talked about in terms of Mercury coming into storm. Get your plan for the next 6 weeks into order in terms of what you really want to create. So we have the 7 of Wands and the Knight of Wands, right? This is amusing. So this is about, what am I defending? What is worth defending and what is not worth defending? What am I tired of justifying, right? We've got that the Sun sextiling Jupiter. We have that Jupiter and Chiron both in Aries, this fire energy. Where are we overspinning, right? We talked about this. Do I have what it takes? Am I telling my healing story? And how am I telling it, right? Where am I holding resistance? Right? Where am I holding that? And here's the deal. If you know what you're defending, if you're down with your why, you're going to defend it all the way to the end. But if you're not down with your why, it's time to release it, right? So mind that energy. Do you have what it takes? Always, always you have what it takes if your why is aligned. And if your why is not aligned, there's no point in defending it. On Wednesday, okay, look at this. It's lovely. So we've got the Knight of Wands. So this is reminding us, whatever it is that you're defending, whatever it is you're defending as your chosen point of a chosen trajectory, right? Your true north, that point on the compass that you know, this is my magnetic invitation where I'm traveling. So we've got the energy of the Wheel of Fortune, and then we've got the Knight of Wands here. So the Knight of Wands is that, yes, let's get it done. Okay, I'm in, let's do this. This is great. I can manifest this. I can get there. The Wheel of Fortune reminds you, sometimes, maybe not. Sometimes, maybe not. So whatever it is that you have and choose to defend, there's going to be that phase where it's great and wonderful, and then maybe not, right? Everything comes to us and everything has to recede. Everything has to expand and everything has to contract. So whatever is in line with that why, that's where you're going to put your energy in order to amplify it. So this is the day that we talked about minding your emotional balance, right? Where's your truth? Where are you accurately feeling and experiencing your truth? And where are you hauling around baggage? Where are you digging up an old story? Where are you digging up an old story? Well, whatever presents for you to witness, whatever presents for you to dig up and experience, whatever you're excavating, know that you get to decide whether we set it on fire or whether we put it in the on the foundation and make a stand about it. You get to decide whether you burn it or keep it, right? He's going to tell you, is this a burn pile? Is this a recycle pile? Is this a donate pile? Or are we going to Marie Kondo this right into our expression? That's up to you. On Thursday, okay, we got the 7 of Cups and the Queen of Cups, which I kind of like. This is all about options, right? It can be about illusions. It can be about just having too many things on your plate. This could also be kind of a reminder of this, what are we defending versus what are we tired of defending? What's no longer really serving our why? Well, the Queen of Cups is she's going to dive into that in terms of how do those things feel, right? If you're putting your energy there and you understand that it's taking up your currency, that it's either going to be something that invites you forward or something that weighs you down, how do they feel to you? What do those things feel like, right? We talked about this as kind of that bull in a china shop day where you're a little overwhelmed, right? It's big energy. So if your feelings are suspect, right, go ahead and choose what feels the best. And then we talked about how on Thursday we could have doer's remorse, right? So this is asking you, be sure of your feelings. Don't be strung up by something's appearance or the way the story sounds great. Know whether or not it's in alignment. Otherwise, you might end up regretting your choice of action. Friday. See, it makes me laugh. So we have death, right? Death, of course, being all about the endless and inevitable cycle of coming and going, contraction and expansion, creation and destruction, right? This is death. Here we are, now we're not. Here it is, there it's gone. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. So let's talk about the Four of Pentacles, right? So this guy is resourced. He's got all his business, but he's got a tendency to kind of hold on to it. Death says, no, you cannot do that. You can't. It's impossible, right? So this is the day that Mercury enters the storm, right? This is the day that we talked about. We might have a little bit of weird dreams, but we're going to be soothed by clarity, right? We're going to be soothed by our deep awareness of bigger patterns. Yes, it's absolutely okay to admit that you're not perfect. And it's okay to know what you're amplifying. It's okay to know what you're amplifying. And it's okay to let go of those things that you don't want to amplify. That's important, right? Discernment. We talked about that last week with that Virgo new moon. Here you're being asked to put it into action. Of course, Virgo being that earth energy. How willing are you to release those things? Saturday the 3rd. Boy, right? So Temperance and the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is all about new ideas. Temperance asks you, what have you experienced? What have you learned, right? And we've got this Sag moon. What have you learned, right? So we talked about this as being that day of that mystic rectangle where we say, yes, I can do anything, right? So here's the deal. Temperance says, take your experiences, take all that you have learned and create something new from it. Take what may feel like disseparate pieces and create something new, right? Temperance is a card of alchemy. It's a card of things that may have no relation to one another, suddenly knitting themselves into a cohesive whole. And here's the idea. Right? This is an inspirational idea, something that comes into your experience, something brand new that perhaps gives you an idea of how to do that. And so as you sit in that idea of, yeah, I can do that, I can, keep hold of that, right? Even where you're challenged, understand your experience can never be taken away from you. How you shift and change as a result of your perspective and perception of that experience, right? Where you are in relation to it is all about your experience. Only you can refine that. Only you can distill it. But perhaps you can do it super powerfully in a way that perhaps you had just not considered before. On Sunday, look, we have the Seven of Wands again. Don't miss that, right? Don't miss it. What are you defending? Queen of Pentacles, in alignment with our pentacles here. So the Queen of Pentacles is that embodiment of your resourced self, right? This is the day we want to delve into our experiences. We want to try it on. Queen of Pentacles says, I can try on anything I want. I have it all. Seven of Wands says, yes, or no, yes or no. And as we try those things on and witness it, how does it feel to me? How does this taste to me? How does this sound to me? How does this, what do I love how this looks, right? Do I love how this feels to me, on me, through me, right? Feel that as your sensory experience and choose from there, right? That moon trining Venus is going to allow you to be in pretty serious discernment. And as the moon moves into Capricorn and Venus moves into Virgo later on, you will have that power of discernment. It's a yes, it's a no, one way or the other, right? And you'll always know. You'll always know. Hold space for yet. I love this, especially because this is a week of such challenge. Again, create your action plans through the beginning of the week, because after Friday, you're not going to want to do that. Yeah. But hold that space for yet, right? You have limitless potential. There's so much beautiful Gemini energy here with Mars and Gemini. Hold that space for yet with all these big Jupiter aspects and Venus aspects. The Venus is challenged, but the Jupiter is just asking you to check, and recheck, right? Like any retrograde. Let's talk about this oracle, the sacrifice. It's so, puts me in mind of the movie Constantine, right? If you've ever seen it, you already know what I mean. And if you haven't seen it, it wouldn't make sense anyway. Let's have this conversation. To sacrifice means to make sacred, right? The sacrifice is an offering of gratitude from the heart, a feast of love prepared for spirit. In olden days, sacrifices sometimes involved rituals in which blood was offered to the gods. For example, in the Bible, Yahweh preferred Abel's sacrifice of one of his lambs to Cain's offerings of vegetables and fruits. In Middle America, however, Quetzalcoatl, Lord of the Dawn, came to teach the spirit preferred songs and prayers to the blood of humans or animals. So, sacrifice is what? Relative, right? It's relative to the situation. The sacrifice asks that you offer to spirit that which is most precious to you. We know what is, right? This is what's most precious. This is what you're offering. Yeah. Your offering will be sanctified and returned tenfold. You'll be elevated to the altar at which you have been praying and meet the divine table with the heavenly feast. You are a welcome guest in this banquet. The heart is only worthy. Your heart is the only worthy offering you can bring. Life has been generous with you in so many ways, and we see this here, right? Life has brought you big things. What are you doing with them? How are they serving, right? Are you storing them up, or do you need to pass them on so that you can recreate and shift and change and be more in alignment with what will serve you now? Just because you have a thing doesn't mean it's the right thing for you now. What is the one person or thing you feel that you cannot live without? It is time to offer it all to Spirit so that it may unfold as it will. Do not cling to the old form or allow your sacrifice to weigh too heavenly upon you. You have sacrificed yourself and your dreams for too long. Now is the time to rededicate yourself to your journey. When you make sacred, you open the doors to infinite wealth. Do not delay. So, that's a beautiful perspective here, right? So, again, it goes right with the messaging. What are you holding on to, right? What is in your highest and best versus what is no longer that inspiration? And how can you make those choices, right? You already know. You already know what's most dear to you and what will bring you the most blessing by offering it, right? And what we offer is ourselves, right? We talk about this. Offer your heart in clarity, right, to your biggest patterns. And it's okay. Admit that you're not perfect, but know that what you offer is in perfect time. Very interesting. I just, I just listened to a conversation about the concepts of Cain and Abel last week, and I love this concept of hierarchical sacrifice. What is important to you has to be willing, right? What's that quote? Only when you've lost everything are you free to do anything. Chuck Palahniuk, yeah, right? Anyway, you know how it fits. You know how it all fits. You know what's important. You know where your why is. You know where your true north is. But it's your experience. Nobody can tell you what that is. You already know. You already know, right? Ooh, that's a big deal. That's a lot. Get it done early this week, guys, because, yeah, Friday. Get everything planned out at least by Friday. And then trust your plan. Big blessings.